Hello, this is Histrivia number 16, and this is going to be the Dominion of New England. Now, first off, I'd like to point out that I tried to find a good map of the Dominion of New England, but unfortunately, every map that I found of it only gave like a colored section of that area. It didn't really give a, detailed description, but I found a flag that was used back then, so that's what I have. So I couldn't find a map. But anyway, the Dominion of New England happened under the rule of King James II in England. In 1685, James II became the first English Catholic king in 127 years after his brother Charles II died. Uh, Ever since his conquest of New Netherlands, when he was Duke of York, when his brother was alive, he wanted to create a big, mega super colony like those that the Spanish had in southern North America with New Spain. Uh, to do this, James acted like a total douchebag. He revoked the charters of several colonies like New York and New Jersey, and he formed this great dominion under the New England and North Atlantic region. It comprised of former colonies such as the Massachusetts Bay Colony, New Hampshire, Connecticut, the Plymouth Colony, Rhode Island, New York, and East and West Jersey. Yes, East and West Jersey. There was no New Jersey at the time. Jersey was split into East Jersey and West Jersey. To run this dominion of New England, he appointed powerful royal governors who would be loyal to him, and through their loyalty, he would give them complete control and reign over the entire dominion, just like governors of the Spanish colony of New Spain had. Basically, if the governor was loyal to James, he basically gave him free run to do whatever he wanted to do in that New England region. Um, he also allowed royal governors to raise high taxes and to rent out land previously owned by colonists in the New England region. So if a royal governor wanted to, say, raise revenue for some funds for the king, he can go onto your land, forcibly take your land, and raise taxes while you live on that land still, so you can fund for wars hundreds of miles away for a Catholic king. Uh, there were mainly two royal governors that were important. You have first is Joseph Dudley. He ruled over the Dominion from May to December of 1686. He made judicial appointments to moderates of the colony that supported the king. Basically, he did a half and half deal. Basically, you didn't really have to be Catholic to rule in the Dominion. As long as you showed your loyalty to James II, Dudley would easily grant you a post, or a magistrate or a judge appointment in the New England region. Uh, Unfortunately, though, Dudley failed as a governor. He failed to raise revenues for the Dominion. They were highly under debt under him, and he tried to impose a universal religion in the Dominion. He tried to make the Church of England the de facto religion, but failed mainly due to lack of funds, and because it was so vast a region, you couldn't be everywhere at once. If you had Puritans who were like, no, we're not supporting this, and if you had, say, English Protestants who were like, hey, well, if you had, Protestants that weren't part of English Protestantism, you couldn't really get a grip on all of them. Basically, there was too big of a territory to control all at once into one religion. Um, and he also implemented strict trade in the region. Basically, the trade was only among the former colonies in that dominion. If they were to, say, you know, want to trade with New York or Pennsylvania, they could not do that. Um, the second governor was appointed after Dudley from December of 1686 up to the Glorious Revolution of 1689. The second governor, well, the second and last governor, was Sir Edmund Andros. He was the former governor of New York before the Dominion was founded, and James appointed him to take over when Dudley resigned from office. Uh, Andros tried to do more of a strict religious adherence in the colony. He took over Puritan churches and used them for the services for the Church of England. Basically, he would go into the many Puritan churches in the region and say, hey, yeah, you see this church, it's now owned by the Church of England, and you're going to do services our way and not the way that you've been doing it. He also enacted revenue laws. He restricted town meetings so resistance wouldn't grow. He sold land titles in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. Land grants were given in both Connecticut and Rhode Island, basically to raise revenues for, of course, himself and the king. This dominion of New England finally collapsed after the Glorious Revolution of 1688. In 1688, you have William and Mary in a bloodless revolution deposed James II and become King William III and Queen Mary II of England. After they became the monarchs, you have the colonies of the Dominion of New England granted their former charters back by the king and queen. After that, you have basic support of resistance. William and Mary support any resistance movement against James's royal governors. Revolts in basically every New England colony occur, royal governors are ousted or killed, and the colonies are given back their charters, and they're back to the way they were before, like pre-Dominion status. So anyway, I thought this would be interesting to do, something that I just recently learned, and hopefully you enjoyed it.